Yo, 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 what is going on, COD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today I wanted to touch on and give you guys an update, really, on SS1. There's been a lot that has happened today. Unfortunately, man, we've just been so busy today that I'm finally getting a moment to get free so we can try and cover a little bit of the what seems to be intensity that has occurred today here on SS1. So, for all intents and purposes, we've seen a major push and shift in the landscape here in Forgotten Lands. Before we start giving you the current updates on how things are going, I want to give you some other bits of information. I got some players that have shared some screenshots with me as well, so we're going to show off some of that. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you sub, like, ring the notification bell, and if you want to join and be a part of our conversation, hit up the Discord. You can find a link to that in the pinned comment description right down below. And of course, remember, new videos are coming out every day at 14 UTC in-game time, 9 a.m. Eastern outside of game time. I think that's an okay way to say that. With all of that, let's now take a look at how the landscape has shifted. So when we last looked as of yesterday, remember, we had NT45, we had 4BDN, we had 4BN1, TA, TR, right? We're kind of all here around this middle point. TR was trying to get the CF off, and they pretty much did at that point. And now, as we look a little farther south, you will see here K4NG kind of going untouched. You'll see that TA has pretty much built all the way here now, flagging all the way since yesterday to this pass. GRZ popped a CF here right in front of the pass as well, right? So they have two connecting plus TR. So they have three people essentially. Oh, excuse me. They haven't cut this one off yet. I don't think so, right? So what do I have? TR. Oh, wait, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, good. There we go. So you can see I just clicked on the wrong border. So, but TR, right? So you have GRZ, TA, and TR all bordering this level 1 pass. Then, and you can see, right, a lot of the territory here already gone, right? So UNT pretty much destroyed their territory here. You have, oops, hang on. Let's click on this one. ING King, right, have a little bit of their territory left there. We have POS, right, destroyed their territory there. UNT a little bit more of theirs, and then we have over here, I guess that's just kind of remnants of King, and then APK, right, had one. So now in this situation, right, we have at both passes, right, GOK, who still for the moment is holding their level 1 pass. Forbidden has placed a CF that they were able to get built right here, and I think GOK might have been able to finish this CF as well in front of the pass. So there's nothing really pressuring them here. You still have to wait for NT45 to work their way down. 4BN1 probably has to work their way down. NT45 is the closest, and they're over here on APK. Now let's see. I don't know if they're burning this already. I'll have to see what's going on over here. Okay, so nothing's really happened thus far. And then with 4BN1, I'll have to see if they're still flagging down or not. Okay, so they haven't started flagging down. So now let's go take a look at each of the passes, and then we can let you know a little bit more information. So as we go here to the southern level 1 pass connecting, again, Forgotten Lands and Zoland, you can see here 4BDN has their up. They got a bunch of players that have dropped in. They got a flag that's built here. I don't know if they're going to end up attacking this or not, maybe. But they are going right now. Right, look, we got another flag. We'll zoom in a little bit more here. And we can see they got one flag building. They are looking to destroy this core fortress right now. Got about an hour and 40 minutes left on it. A rate of 14.85, almost 15. A bunch of players that are around. I'm sure they're going to keep sending more as well. And it looks as though they've pushed kind of out here, or at least it looked like from maybe they were just trying to do some battling there in front of the pass. And then let's go see. So we got one building there, and then we have this side one. Oh, it looks like they are. So they are going to end up starting to destroy maybe the SFS2 flags just to start getting a little bit more room here so they can build a bit more. Then when we go over here to the east, this is really where a lot of the craziness happened. And I'm going to show you guys a few things, right? I got some battle reports that got sent to me, some images from the fight, but it was massive, right? Someone told me it was a double rally that was going on. Behemoths were dropped, right? And essentially this kind of, well, let me see, who's this? GOK, right? Essentially this kind of 3-on-3 scenario here with UNT, POS, GOK, and then you had GRZ, TR, and TA that were going. So UNT has been able to recapture the pass. TA did have it for a little while, and you can see now with what the players, right? Now, man, the keep situation here has been somewhat bananas from what I have been seeing, or hearing, I should say, is because from everything, right? So I got someone here who has told me, and I hope they don't mind me showing this. Again, this is Cognar, right? I just thought this was hilarious from what he said. He said, the keeps is affectionately now called, right, MPM, the Merit Printing Machine, and grossly overpowered. Right. And so, again, I just thought it was funny, right? It said, calm down, right? UNT held the pass at great cost to POS, gave them the pass, held the bridge for 2 forts. TA seemed to have slowed down a bit. TR is flagging to the pass, GRZ's there. Forbidden CF, the other pass, right? Looks like, however, the recent push, 30 minutes, had GRZ forbidden TR, and TA got pushed, has pushed GOK off the CF, and they have just finished it. Now the second pass is also under threat. I sent you the one pass subsequent follow-up, right? So, again, just kind of showing some information. So, again, thank you so much for sharing that. But again, right, was cool to see. And then I actually have some reports and some things to show you guys as well, right? So some people had sent me some information here, and I'm going to have to scroll up. So see, a bunch of people were messaging me during this time, and I appreciate the reach out. It was just a busy day for me, and I was not able to get free pretty much until now. But this was one report, and I think someone might have sent me this report, so if they did, we're going to take a look at it in a moment. I have to go and check. But you can see here, right, Ghost rallying on the UNT pass. I don't know who was the Garrison lead. I would have had to scroll down to see who was the first. Oh, sorry, here it is, Fish, against Fish. So Fish was in there running Garwin Madeline, and then you had Ghost running Haas Nico, and again, just seeing, right, 600 to 600. Now, they did a lot of healing. You can see this. Look at this, dude. 4.4 million healing that was done here. And remaining, this is the thing, right? Total remaining, right, 509, 466, 842,000 dead. I mean, that's just ridiculous when you're just kind of looking at those numbers. And then see, it sent me some other ones, right? This is after TA had captured the pass, and they went in. And again, right, this is what we're hearing about the keeps. Now, I really wanted to be able to watch. That's something that I missed out on, being able to watch how the keep played out. We've seen it in other videos that I've covered and have done, but we just didn't really have an opportunity to see. Oh, shocker, nothing was even going on. But we didn't have an opportunity. Oh, you know why? It's because I'm running a second. That's why it's my second instance. I started noticing that when I have my second instance running of LD is where I'll start noticing a little bit more lag. And some dropouts on my first one. So I just need to make sure I have that turned off. But to my point, we really weren't able to see too well on how efficient and effective the keeps were. However, from what I'm hearing now, right, the keeps were just bananas. And so, I wonder if it's mainly because of how many people are in the keep and they're just, that's the amount of total damage that's outputting. Is it just the first person that joins the keep, and then they're the ones that are doing the damage? So, until they die, and then the next one kind of takes its place. However, from whatever they were saying with kind of this merit printing press thing that they have going on, really alludes to, the potential power and how strong the keeps are right now. Again, I just really want to see it in action so I can kind of get, a better idea. But you can see here, even on this side, right, UNT, they got 34 people in their keep. I don't know if we can see. I don't think I can see who's in the keep, huh? Yeah, no, I can't. But what else does it tell me? Does it tell me anything else? No, it doesn't. Okay, I thought it might have given me some more information. But then you got POS of 28 here. And if you click on this, you can see the range. Right? And what's interesting to me is that the range here for UNT's keep looks a little bit more than POS's. Oh, you know what? That's probably because of maybe because of the alliance technologies, right? Because there are some technologies for unlocking and then I think upgrading certain areas. But you can see that, and their keep really, is pretty much well positioned when you think about it, right? It covers the entirety of this, and you could almost argue put a keep here and then put a keep there, right? Where it's a little bit closer, but as forward as you can, just so it covers, max or decent distance. I think putting it a little bit away is probably okay, because maybe you want them to be able to come through and kind of provide some choke points here as well for them. But then if we look on the other side, ooh, nice, ooh, dude, like cool. Maybe we'll get a little PvP. engagement here so far. So yeah, that is awesome. Yeah. Okay, so man, and again, I want to point out, right, the keeps from what it seems like really impacting, and now theirs isn't up all the way yet, right? You can see TR's building theirs. Let me see here. TA has a keep right here of 12, but I don't think we're seeing any, yeah, because they're just outside of range, right? You can see their range is pretty much going right about here. So who knows if they're keeping, aware of that. Got some cannon tower upgrades already as well. And yeah, man, just getting a nice little skirmish here. They're like, I'm already heading back. Might as well just hit this. Ripper ended up losing one there. Again, right? Nice kind of coming in and hitting a few people. I still think they have some numbers advantages here when it comes to being able to go ahead and, hit some of these outlier units that are going. This is actually not a bad idea, right, from Nagasaki. Just, again, outputting the range damage while they move. Right, never going to get to them as long as they have, good march speed, or at least are leaving ahead of time, so they don't have to worry about that. And yeah, I mean, again, for the most part. So now let me see if we have any reports, right? That was the thing I was trying to see. And I think someone did send me some. I'm going to have to see on this one. Let me see. Shock, no. Oh, man, I got to see if anyone sent me a report. I swear I think someone did. Yeah, so no one has sent me. I don't think anyone sent me the report. Oh, man, that's rough. I swear I thought someone did. Level 1 pass, level 1 pass. Oh, here we go. Cool. Yeah, so COG did send it to me in-game. Sweet. Okay. Now we're going to be able to take a look at the report here from the hit. Okay? So this is, I think, on the defensive side, because you see them first, right? And you can just see here, man, just the replenishment as well of units, just bonkers. So, again, we're going to take a look at everything. So let's look first on the UNT side for the defense, right? So this is Fish running Garwood Madeline, 42-43. Let's look at this when it comes to, first off, I always like to look and to see how many, kind of T4 units we're seeing. Right, again, quite a bit, some T3 there. And this is important too as well, right? When you're thinking about, potential unit counters, because if you look at Hosk, you can see like ballistas. I mean, this seems pretty coordinated, right? At least for those first few. Then we're doing spearmen, right? So we're looking at ballista, spearmen, archers, right? So mainly, I guess, again, we're looking at archer ranged, right? No one's putting infantry, no one's putting mages in here. Wyvern riders, but they're physical as well. Ballista, spearmen, right? And again, you're seeing, wow, some T1. I probably wouldn't have thrown. I mean, it's not that much, but I probably just would have kept it to, the T3. Mostly you're seeing that, right? Or sorry, at least for that person, right? You're seeing a lot of T4 that's being thrown in. I have to go check to see if there's any. But yeah, for the most part, right, you're seeing them coordinate because you're going to see different names because of the three factions, right? So you're mainly going to be focusing on the archers for each. So it's archers, ballistas, I don't think Wyvern riders, but the spearmen as well. And that's what you're seeing, right? Mostly T4s that are getting put in here. Let's go see. I wonder if Ghost had T5. He did. So you can see had 105,000 T5 ballistas that were in here from Ghost running his. And let's see if we can. We're going to go to Legion buffs. This should tell us what their ratings are. So you can see here that Haas Nico, again, everyone's awakened. Right, so Haas Nico maxed, along with Garwood Madeline maxed. The only difference is that Ghost just had one additional level, right, on Madeline. If we look at the breakdown here for the plus minus on stats, right, and let me point this out, right, when you're looking at this, just to kind of give you an idea, and hang on, we'll come back here in a sec to look at that, right? I really want to show you guys this, though. So if we look and excuse the nose, allergies. I don't even know allergies, just stuff going on. Okay, so this is what we'll look at. Unit advantage system, right? So you got mages over infantry, infantry over cav, and then you have cav over archers, archers over mages, right? That's how it should work, where you're dealing more damage and you're taking less damage. So if they're running archers, right, then the idea here is you would want to put cav, right? You'd want to try to put cav in there if you know that's what they're running, especially if you can scout it out. However, if you do not have the ability to make those quick adjustments, which again, that's something that when you start looking at kind of more of the higher level play on alliances that just have that ability to be a little bit more coordinated, where they can make those real-time adjustments before the rally hits, right? Especially if they're close enough to the pass or if they get an early indication on what the rally type is going to be, then fantastic. If, for example, the rally, is being ran over and over and over again, and you know that they're going to run that, then I would switch it up. After the first rally hits, you start putting cav in there, right? And you force them to run something else, right? Because this is the thing. If they're putting a mixture of infantry, or because you have to think about it, right? Either they put archers, cav, or infantry in order to zero out or be a plus. If they have any mages in there, then, right, there's just going to be an advantage going there. So that's just something to show you when it comes to how to play out, right? Now, I think the only situation in this case, right, so like even if I go to the Wyvern Riders, in this situation you'll notice that they're classified as archers, right? So you can see this because it'll show you the red indicator, right? So you see Wyvern Riders, and I'll show you this as well. I go to Spear, Infantry, Archers, right? Or sorry, not Infantry. Axe barracks, right? This should be infantry. And then you can see how it changes, right? And it shows you in red. So you have your archers and your Wyvern Riders that are categorized as archers, right? And then you have the mages, you got the cav, and then you got the infantry. So it just goes to show you, right, how important it is when you're looking at those things, right? So let me go back to COG, and then we're going to go back to the report. So as we go back here, right, now we're noticing, okay, so the majority of archers and flying units were included in Ghost Rally, right? Then we look at the defense here on the first one from them. So you're seeing, right, now remember, we mainly want to be seeing cav, right, as the preference, but we don't want to see mages, right? That's the big one here. So we got Ironbark Trents, right, archers, some swordsmen for infantry, right? Remember, the big one here is we just don't want to see mages, preferably want to see cav. And we're really not seeing any of that. So again, this is kind of more of a neutral setting when you're looking at everyone that was included in here, right? There's really no one that's not. But this is just something, you know, as a point to talk about, where if you're able to make those adjustments, even if you can't make it in real time on the first rally because maybe the person who's rallying is just as close as they can get, and it would just be really difficult to make those adjustments without seeing it first. But then you can always have that opportunity to make later adjustments, right, when those come in. So now that we've had a chance to look at that, let's go back to Legion buffs. We'll break this down. So you got, and again, the cool thing is we can look at everything here too. So you look at infantry units, right? They were down here, right? You see the plus. This is a plus, 5.6? And then we have a plus 4.44. And then we have a plus 5.7%. So a little bit plus here. You can see here that the infantry unit HP, though, overwhelmingly on the UNT level pass side. When we look at marksman units, which I think is really where it's coming down to because that's where they're running, you can see here that marksman unit HP for UNT was really the big one, right? Other than that, a 3-4 in infantry, a 3-4 here in favor of, TA, going for marksman. And you can see 135, right? That's a 34, almost a 34% increase. 16 plus 28, 38, 44, right? So almost 44% increase. Unit magic defense, 120, pretty much. So you're looking at 28, right? 47 point increase. And then you're only seeing a 1% increase on marksman unit HP. Then we look at cav, same thing, 3 to 1 in favor of TA, 3 to 1 in favor even on magic units, right? You can see 110 to 96, that's pretty decent. 106 to 64, that's decent. 104 to 66, right? You're getting close to almost double. But then on the cav unit HP, and that's kind of the one area that they excelled in, which was having more unit HP. However, they took about 3 times the amount of dead. And then you could see here, the composition for units. So again, the buffs going more in favor here of TA side from Ghost running the rally compared to Fish. Then, if we look at, like just the nice combo. So remember that when Hosk is running, I think it's second or third. I think it's third skill. Is it? Increases, yeah. So increases Legion's defense by 25% when Hosk is commander, and their normal attack and their normal attack damage by 40% when Hosk is deputy. Right. So they're getting the 25% increase from Legion defense. They get the max Legion cap here of plus 10k more that they're able to have. Awakening, right? Legions receives a buff. Their crit rate is increased by 6% to a maximum 6% up to a maximum 30% for 6 seconds, right? So every single time that he gets a buff. So you got the attack bonus on the active, that would count. You got the defense bonus, and then we look at Nico, right, for Dio. Now, the one thing I'll have to ask, and maybe someone else may know this, right, is Hosk's Awakening procced off of other legions in the rally that is not the prime, or that is not the rally captain, or excuse me, the rally commander, right? So in this case, Hosk is proccing his Awakening, and/or the deputy, in this case Nico, is proccing it, because you can look here where you'd have third skill, right, for bonus on marksman unit, right? So this would be one. Then you look at attack speed bonus, that'd be another. And then you got Nico launches normal attack on target leads, and then already has defense break, has an 80% chance to deal additional physical damage. So now, right, you're looking at that kind of adding up a little bit more. So now let's look at the battle log. I love looking at also, right, kill rewards, 248,000 merits is wild. Okay, but now let's look at the battle log. I love looking at the log because I think it really gives me a great indication of how does each of the turns go, and we've broken this down and talked about it before, right? So, again, was attacked by TA Ghost. So let's look. Here's the forces lining up. But really what we care about is looking at the breakdowns here. And you can even see here, right, for the pass, 10% HP, infantry unit HP, infantry unit defense, counterattack damage, and then healing receipt, plus 30%. Here on the other end, Legion defense, marksman unit attack 20, unit defense, and then normal attack damage plus 15%, right? That's pretty big. So now let's look at what the decreases are. So green is the pass, red is TA. So you can see here initially, the pass is already taking more damage than TA is taking, right? Just in the previous. And we'll break these down a little as well, right? And then you got green, right, for the heal. You click on this casting rage skill in this turn, right? So nothing procced immediately, but then you can see, right? And if we look at everything, you'll probably be able to see the total amount of rage skills, right? Something here. A Legion joined the battle this turn, 35 seconds in. More legions are joining, more rage skills are being casted. Nothing really seems to be, from what we can tell, and I wonder how far, I bet you this goes down pretty far. But you can start seeing here, once we get to the first one, which I think I'll scroll it back up now. Here we go. Right, the first plus 5,000. And then you're seeing the same thing, right? Green, for the most part, is taking more damage than they're dealing on to red, right? And you're starting to see these proc. Obviously, this was a rage skill turn. But even then, once you start getting a little here, now they're kind of getting into that groove. You're seeing a little bit more damage being done now on green. That means the fort is just taking more overall damage. So now let's look at what some of the turns are going to tell us. So this is how I like to read a report. You know Garwood is launching a normal attack and their allies, right? You lost this. This basically just gives you the individual breakdowns. The most important part is the first line and then maybe a little bit more. So you see Haas side total loss 679, right? For Garwood launching the attack. Normal attack on Haas, which in this case is the pass against TA. Haas launches counterattack, side's total loss of 897 troops, and then it just tells you the breakdown, right? So it's just important. You don't have to read everything. Right, the kicker here is really reading the most important part, at least to start at an entry level. So then you can see Hosk launches normal attack, right? So it's attack, counterattack, attack, counterattack, right? And you're seeing that in order here. So now it's Hosk's turn to launch a normal attack on Garwood, loss of 936 units. Garwood launches counterattack, 845 units that are lost, right? So still, this is closer when you look at the counterattack, right? Because if you look at Garwood's normal attack, it's less damage than Hosk's counterattack, right? But then Hosk's normal attack is, but then Garwood's counterattack is a little bit closer to Hosk's normal. Okay, so that's the first one there. We look at this again, right? And then here's the thing that you're going to notice, right? So this is where the difference is. Once you kind of get to the next few turns, you'll notice at the very bottom of these, this is the part to really start looking at, right? Which is where you see these branches. Garwood's Legion gain Legion defense effect for 3 seconds, takes effect next turn, right? So that's Legion defense. So let's look at this. Now you have 1831, 19, right? So it's not as though this went down. It did go a little up, but now we're going to take a look at this. So then you see 676 units lost when Garwood did the attack. Counterattack 964. This is getting a little bit more on Haas's side. And then same thing, Garwood 841, but now losing a little bit more here from Haas. You can see Garwood's Legion's defense was decreased. Legion defense was decreased by 15% due to Haas's A Dream of Pieces effect, 2 seconds remaining, right? So it kind of got negated, but just there's the counter to that. We look at the next one here, and I love just going to the bottom because you can just learn a lot from watching these. Garwood's Legion defense was decreased, 1 second remaining, right? Then you go to the next interaction, right? And you're still seeing the same thing, right? Garwood attack, Haas counter, Haas normal, Garwood counter. And then you're seeing Legion defense was decreased by 15%. Now we go to the next interaction, to 6 seconds, right? And this is where you have to look for the branches. So here's a branch, right? This just happened a little earlier. Haas used a Dream of Peace. Garwood's Legion gained the Legion defense reduction effect for 3 seconds. Takes effect next turn. Then you look at the next turn. And you see here, right? Garwood's Legion gained the Legion defense reduction effect for 3 seconds. Takes effect next turn. Legion defense was decreased by 15% due to Haas A Dream. So again, right, that's really big when you think about the overall Legion's defense. And then we take a look again, right? Legion defense reduction effect for 3 seconds. It procs again, takes effect next turn. And then you see Garwood's Legion defense was decreased, but it's not refreshing it, right? Legion defense decreased 15%, right? Then now we're seeing the skill used, and this is what this will look like. So then you're going to see here, right? Garwood's Legion defense reduction for 3 seconds. Then the skill, Garwood used Revitalizing Rune. Hosk recovered 7,790 units. Garwood uses Thistle and Thorns, gained the physical damage dealt bonus effect for 5 seconds, takes effect next turn. Garwood's Talon Cool-Headed was triggered. Gained Shelter effect for 5 seconds, takes effect next turn. Garwood gained Resistance effect, takes effect next turn. Legion defense was decreased by 15. So now we look at next turn, right, for 10 seconds. Right, Garwood 847. Haas 741. Now they're doing a little bit more damage, right? Because of that. You can see how it makes sense when you read the reports. Legion's defense, right? Haas normal attack 747. Garwood's counter 1000, right? And again, you can see that because of gaining physical damage dealt bonus effect for 5 seconds, right? So you see how this makes sense when you're reading it. Then we look at the bottom here, right, which Legion defense reduction takes effect. Now it's Hask, Furious Rage. Gain the Legion normal attack crit rate bonus for 6 seconds. Same thing, right? You can just see it procced multiple times. No Quarter, gain the Vigor effect for 5 seconds. Talon Intrepid was triggered. Gain the normal attack focus effect for 5 seconds. Gain Rampage, Convalescence. And then you have Nico, right? So Nico gained the Legion attack speed bonus for 3 seconds, takes effect next turn. Same here, right? Legion defense was decreased by 15%. Damage taken was decreased by 20% due to Garwood Revitalizing Runes. Physical damage dealt was increased by 30% due to Garwood's Thistle and Thorns. Effect remains 4 seconds. Legion defense increased, right? So if you're going through the reports, you can see where it makes sense. And then once you really start wanting to kind of get more in depth when you're reading reports, you can have a better way of going about it when you're breaking down the individual players that are taking losses compared to are the losses the same, if it's all the same unit type, if it's varied unit types, what do the losses look like for individual players if it's the counter unit type to whatever they're running. Those are things that you'll then start to be able to look at and say, okay, well, hey, this is the amount of times these were able to proc. Were these skills able to proc each time, meaning there wasn't downtime in between when they started procking, so you're able to get a lot of those. And these things can really help you start understanding why exactly in these cases, right, where you have maxed out awakenings, why the attacker, in this case TA, was a little bit more effective than the Garwood Madeline combination, right? It almost makes you wonder if, well, okay, should they maybe have, right? Should they maybe have ran Madeline and then ran a damage dealer? Should they have ran Garwood with a damage dealer, right? I actually would have loved to see them run Guanwin here in this case, just to see what the damage would have done. Obviously, it probably would have been better for them to run something like we talked about with Cav. So maybe you run Garwood Bakshi, Garwood Emrys, right? Those I think could have been options to run if you were doing Cav. However, remember, it's hard to make those adjustments in real time. So I would have loved to see how this played out if they got a second rally and they were able to run more of a counter configuration. Now, maybe they did run that, and I just haven't seen the report for it. But again, I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through that and break that down on, how to kind of go about reading some reports, because it can really help if you're looking to dive into the details on, how to figure those things out when the fights and things are happening in real time. Oh, dude, we got Chad, the Ripper, man. They're coming out for a little bit more here. Anyways, look, that is it for me. Again, I'd love to continue and go on a little bit longer. I know we weren't really able to catch a lot of action for you guys today outside of just a very small skirmish, giving you an update on how the state of affairs is playing out here in Forgotten Lands for SS1, and then, of course, go over some reports and break those down. So I hope, if anything, some of you may have found that educational and informative and maybe even helpful and enjoyable. But that is going to be it for me today. I'll try to bring you guys some more action tomorrow if I have an opportunity to get on and, of course, capture some. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments down below, right? How did maybe some of the future rallies play out? For those of you that were in the fights, what did you see? How effective were the keeps? I really want to know that, because I'm hoping I'll get an opportunity to really see that in maybe a future fight. So would love to hear anything and everything on that for those that were in the war. If you were just watching as an observer, let me know there. That's it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.